Welcome back, everybody. Very excited to talk to our next guest, South Florida. We're very excited for UFC 302. Of course, our guy, Dustin Poirier. We've adopted him. Trains in South Florida for a long time. He is fighting for the championship against Islam Makhachev live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. ESPN's own MMA analyst, the bad guy, the legend, Chael Sonnen joining us here. You guys, of course, can also watch him on the new ESPN show, Good Guy, Bad Guy, with the great Daniel Cormier. Chael, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
People vacation in South Florida, by the way. My wife just hit me up. She wants to go on vacation in South Florida. Is there like something you do? I don't think Disneyland's there. Do people come and beaches or something like that?
Beaches, snorkeling. We got alligator boat rides if you're into that, Chael. You know, all kinds of different things.
All right, so she's not putting me on. Like, this is an actual serious question. South Florida is a destination then.
That's what they say. That's what it's definitely better than that. I'm sorry that you're in New York. I mean, I know that's got to be, hellacious for you being.
They took this beautiful town and they just cover it in concrete, and then everybody acts like that's something cool. It's awful. Pizza's $1 in New York because pizza's worth $1 in New York. But back to you, please. What were we talking about?
So Dustin Poirier. He's
got to fight this weekend. Hey, Dustin Poirier's got to fight this weekend. Make sure you let people know. They're going to want to know that. Like, if they're fight fans, they're going to want to know that.
They're going to want to know that, but he keeps telling us he's jumping this gilly, right? And I'm not a big betting man, Chael, but hey, 23 to 1's 23 to 1, and the man is telling us that he's doing it. I got to throw something on it. Yes, he's gonna. You got to think he's going to try and get this through in this championship fight.
On accident, right? Like, have you ever had your parent or your teacher tell you, okay, now, whatever you do, don't say as you're going into something or performance, don't say this word. And then the word always comes out because that's what's happening with Dustin. This is a big joke. Everyone's telling him, don't do the gilly, don't do the gilly. So then he's joking, saying, I'm going to do the gilly, I'm going to do the gilly. I also am with you. I think the gilly is going to happen. I don't know that I think he's going to finish him. I do think I think he locks it up and he jumps and gives up position, trying the guillotine that he's joking about doing. He's going to forget it's a joke.
Have you ever done what he did in the court? Because the video of him and his coaches telling him, hey, don't do it anymore. And he goes, but I can do it. Has there been anything in a fight where you were like told, hey, don't do that, but you just felt in your bones that you had to do it in a fight?
No, but I did in a wrestling match, if that counts. I mean, sometimes you just get something through your head and you're so stubborn. Like, I'm a father now, so I see the world different. But I remember having a father, and he was never right. I mean, I really believe that. I know more. He doesn't understand, and he's on the outside, and all he does is care about me. And I'm thinking, he doesn't, I can do it. Let me try one more time. It never worked. The move never worked. I would always lose the match over it. But yes, when you get that stubbornness or you think that you have something, look, we're trained. One thing about the guillotine, I must say, in Dustin's defense, is it is a move that when you see, you got to go and you got to all the way commit because you're jumping, you're sacrificing position, your hands are under the chin, your hand slips 1 inch, you lose the technique. So he's actually trained that when he feels that to go, he was just following his training in his defense.
Do you, if he doesn't go that
kind of analysis, you cannot get this kind of analysis anywhere.
If he doesn't go,
do this kind of analysis, really, this is outstanding. And by the way, as we're talking about him, Islam Makhachev is actually the champion. People are gonna. You should tell people that this way. It's on pay-per-view. ESPN's working that you should get this out.
Chael, if he does not do that route, if he doesn't do the bad advice of going for the guillotine, how does he get this done against Islam? He's a monster. He obviously is the champion. How does he get it done? In the expert opinion, how would he get it done to beat Islam?
Okay, now I'm not trying to show any kind of a favoritism here. I'm not doing that, but Dustin is a handsome guy, and he likes his family, and he likes to keep to himself, and he doesn't use profanity very often. And I tell you that because people then decide that he's a really nice young man. He is amongst the dirtiest, grittiest cage fighters I have ever seen, and there is no point in that match where he is going to check out. There is no point in that match where he's going to concede to Islam or he's going to think Islam's better. And a lot of guys do. You lose a round, maybe you lose 2, maybe you lose 3. Now, the fight's out of control when you've lost 3 rounds. That's simple math. There's only 2 left. Well, that was the situation he just found himself in against Saint Denis. He lost 3 straight rounds, won 1 exchange, and put him down. And so when you ask how can Dustin win, Dustin's going to lose moments of this fight, for sure. He's going to lose exchanges, for sure. He's going to lose positions, and he's most likely to lose rounds. I cannot guarantee you he's going to lose the fight. He only needs to win 1 second to win the match, and Islam knows that. And that actually makes Islam a little bit more dangerous, but I'm sharing with you, Dustin's one of those guys, man. They love to say, when announcers don't have anything else to say, they like his low-hanging fruit will say, don't blink. No, when Dustin fights, it's real. Don't blink. Don't assume you know anything.
Do you feel if Islam gets this done, the idea that he could match up to the legacy of Khabib, is that a possibility? Do you feel like this man really does have the chance to match the guy whose shadow he kind of came into the UFC with?
He's going to have a very hard time for a couple of reasons. First up, he doesn't want that. He's going to be the first to push back and say, no, don't do that to me. Nate Diaz did that with his brother Nick. As Nate's star started to rise, he would go out of his way to say, Nick is the general. Nick is in charge. It was just one of these very sweet things. But when we, the media, started to understand how important that was, and I'm just sharing because it's just opinion, right? Like those two are never going to actually compete. You have Dustin Poirier here. That's very relevant because that's a common opponent. And you see, when you are fighting for that legacy of Khabib, when you have a common opponent, you not only have to beat the guy in Dustin, you got to beat him faster and you got to beat him easier, or it goes against your perceived legacy and that narrative. So, but Islam does have a way to go, by the way. In his answer to outdo Khabib, it's not to be 29-0 because he already let that O go, but double champ status, which is something that Dana White has already offered Islam. Few people know that, but at UFC 300, Dana already suggested that opportunity. I'm going to bring that to you now. You know what? I'm hearing myself right now. You cannot get this kind of analysis. This is top shelf MMA coverage. I mean, you are so fortunate to have me on right now. This is amazing. I'm hearing myself. It is an amazing job I'm doing.
This is why you're a Hall of Famer, sir. This is why at the end of the end of the month you're going into the Hall of Fame. What did that mean to you?
Man, it was so cool. You don't get surprises in life, and like I don't expect anybody to like have my already charmed experience that get a little more sprinkle on it. But for me, man, it was the coolest thing. My mom didn't know. She always watches. She wasn't watching. My wife was there with me at the venue. It was a complete surprise. Looking back, there was some something like I could have known something was up, but I didn't. They brought me down to cage side and said I was going to do an interview with Megan O'Leary. I thought I was doing an interview, so it was awesome. You know what? It was awesome.
Are you excited this boxing match that you have coming up with Anderson, that it's all kind of going to be in the same time frame?
I am excited about that. Anderson, that'll represent the second time I've beaten somebody 3 times. And this time it's in boxing, which might give him like kind of sway things a little bit to help to even the field. But I will be more than ready to go. I've thought about him every day for 10 years, and I don't imagine he ever thinks about me. Now, I think that it is a meaningful difference. I've had a fantasy that an opportunity like this presented itself. If I could get within arm's reach of him, I would have already punched him.
Chael, this is going to lead up. Are you still beefing with Jorge Masvidal? Like, is this going to lead to something with him? The last time we spoke to you was before 299 down here. And, you know, apparently, like, he was searching for you all over the streets. So where is the Masvidal beef at right now?
Oh, the Masvidal is red hot. I've offered, I've suggested these type things. I've actually been a little surprised how quiet he went. I thought I went and teed him up at one point, and I figured I was going to have a little pushback, and he acted like he didn't even hear it. And I won't bully the young man. Like, if he's changed his mind, that would be very wise. If he hasn't changed his mind, I will do it for him sooner or later.
2 more before we get you out of here. Jon Jones. Who do you consider right now, Chael, the champ? He's been out for a long time. We got this great Aspinall Blades fight coming up. I understand why the young division wants to move on, but where are we at? What do you look at Jon as the champion right now? Should he relinquish? What do you think we should do with the heavyweight division?
Okay, now, I would never spare the lash as it goes to Jon Jones, but we must tell a story the way that it happened. He has no ability to relinquish. Dana White and the company make those decisions, and we try to show a man grace when he's injured. Right, when we have what we call a closet champion that won't fight, he's injured. Oh, by the way, he happened to be filming the workout at the time that he got it. So, I mean, we've got a documentation that this happened. I'm only sharing for you. No, there's nothing wrong with that. We have Francis Ngannou was out and in a contract dispute. But because Francis's leg was injured, Dana didn't take the belt off him. No matter how mad he was, we showed him grace. And that's what's happening to Jon here as well. It's not holding up Tom Aspinall. Tom's got every right to be calling for the opportunity. But the truth is, if Jon's not back, then Tom isn't missing out on an opportunity. He's feel free to go out there and compete, of which, by the way, against Curtis Blades, he's going to do. No, Jon has done nothing wrong. He just simply hasn't. The idea of preserving Jon and Stipe as opposed to recognizing our interim champion as the number 1 contender, that's a little bit of a new idea. And that could be a different conversation. But can we put it on Jon Jones? Man, not even a little. We just can't.
Can't get analysis like that anywhere else. You can't do it. You can't do it.
You can't get that. People's mind don't work that way. They don't work as good. Their mouth, that doesn't flow the same. You know what they try to do to Jon Jones? They try to get Jon Jones on a drug test because the person that came over to get the sample, because he hurt their feelings. I don't know if you saw that. There was a police report, an action because Jon hurt somebody's feelings. That, in all fairness, come on, man, give the guy a break.
Conor McGregor's making his return soon. How worried should everybody made a big deal? He was partying his ass off this week in Ireland. Is this a big deal? Is 6 weeks out partying like that or appearing to party like that? Is that a big deal as he gets ready for Michael Chandler?
Yes, it is, because he already has a big problem. And the problem is that he's not doing this at 155 pounds. And where that becomes relevant is like what you weigh. It's not some magical thing that because you paid $9 and bought some guy's book on Amazon that can tell you about. It's calories in versus calories out. So if you're not weighing what you used to weigh, then you either took in more calories or more than likely you didn't burn as many, which means you're not training as hard. That is the bigger story, because that speaks to discipline. And that's one thing that Chandler had. Chandler was willing to go 55. He's willing to go 57. He's willing to go 87. McGregor needed 170. And I do think in light of that, where you're going to be somebody like me, and you're going to stand back and you're going to question that discipline, because should you have to go the duration, which is into the 5th round, you don't get there on your good looks. You don't get there on good DNA. You don't get there on experience. You have to have those lungs under you from paying a price in the gym. And I just bring it to you that when you see Conor doing something like that, a lot of times it's marketing. This guy appears to always be a step ahead. Not for nothing, the club that he was partying in, he happens to own. So there is an angle there. And the whiskey he was pretending to drink, he happens to own the brand. There is an opportunity. There was nothing more in that bottle than water. We don't truly know. And a lot of times with McGregor or any great magician, look at this hand so you don't see what this hand is doing. On the other side of it, there's a chance that he is unfocused and that he's starting to tell a story of which is excuse. In all fairness, and a lot of athletes, no matter how great, do this. They will start to lay a foundation for an excuse ahead of time. That isn't something that somebody as confident as McGregor, who sold confidence, would generally do. But he chose not only to go and do that, he chose to make sure that it was videoed, and he released the video. He's telling a story of some sort.
Chael Sonnen, go watch him. Good guy, bad guy. Watch his coverage this week. UFC 302 on ESPN. You can buy the pay-per-view, ESPN Plus. Our guy, Dustin Poirier, against Islam Makhachev. Look at the biggest arms in West Linn, Oregon right there. Hall of Famer. Thank you so much, Chael.